All right, let's move on now to the next email today. And the next email today comes to us from one of our Patreon supporters, John DeNicola, who writes, I was thinking this morning about actors of this decade, and barring Dwayne Johnson, more of an action star, well, yeah, he's not the actor of the decade, it is hard to argue against Bradley Cooper. He's likely to get his fourth acting nomination since 2010, along with another for directing for A Star is Born, and seems destined for success going into the 2020s. Your thought. All right, thanks a lot for the email, John. You know what the funny thing is about this email was it was just like a week or two ago that a friend of mine and I were actually talking about who would we consider, like who's the MVP? Because you guys know I think in sports terms, right? Who's the MVP of the decade? As we're heading into 2019, in terms of actors, who is the MVP? And you know, whenever they're doing college football, they talk about look at the team's resume. Well, that's how I approach it too. Let's look at the resume. Now, I might be missing some people off my list here, but off the top of my head, to me, there are four contenders for actor of the decade. When you look at their body of work, when you look at the resume, what did they bring to the table, or to the screen in this case? What did they bring to the table from 2010 until now? Who comes with the most impressive resume? There's a few guys you have to look at. First guy we're going to look at is Denzel Washington. Denzel Washington, since 2010, has locked up, oh my goodness, three Acting Academy Award nominations. No wins, but 3 acting nominations. He was nominated for Best Performance by an Actor in Flight, and I didn't like Flight, but his performance in it was just gangbusters. He was nominated for Fences, and then he was nominated again for Roman J. Israel Esquire, which almost none of you saw because that movie made like no money at the box office. Denzel Washington, look at this resume. He's got to be in the conversation. Another guy that's got to be in the conversation is Leonardo DiCaprio. Now, he doesn't have as many nominations since 2012. He's only got 2, but the thing is, he's actually got to win. So, of course, 2014, he was nominated for Wolf of Wall Street, and in 2016, he actually won his Academy Award for The Revenant by freezing himself to death and fighting a CGI bear. He actually finally won his Academy Award for that, right? Now, not as many nominations as, say, a Denzel Washington, but certainly has a presence, and you got to count a win, right? He actually took home a win on that. So I just don't think you can look at the resume of Leonardo DiCaprio and make an argument that he shouldn't be in the conversation. So I think there is a conversation for that. All right, let's look at another guy. Let's look at, say, Christian Bale. Another impressive resume. He's garnered 3 Academy Award nominations since 2010. 2011 for The Fighter, which he won. Now, granted, that was Best Supporting Actor, but still, he's got one of those trophies on his mantle. He got nominated in 2014 for American Hustle, which he was in with Bradley Cooper, by the way. And he was in 2016, The Big Short. And by the way, he's also starring in that movie Vice, playing Dick Cheney. And that trailer just dropped not long ago, and that looks fantastic. So I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to predict that he's going to get a 4th nomination for this decade as well. That's 4 nominations with, if we go ahead and assume he's going to get a nomination for Vice, that'll be 4 nominations this decade with a win on his mantle. Well, what about the guy you brought up, Bradley Cooper? Yeah, Bradley Cooper's resume is stupid good. Of course, we've got 3 nominations here. He was nominated for American Sniper, he was nominated for American Hustle, and he was nominated, now for American Hustle as a supporting actor thing, but still it's a nomination. And he was nominated for Silver Lining Playbook. And we're all just kind of assuming at this point that it is most likely he's going to end up getting a nomination for A Star is Born. That will make 4 nominations for Bradley Cooper. Strong argument to be made there. I'm going to go Christian Bale. And you notice we didn't even start to talk about, we're not even talking about Batman. Batman? What's Batman? No, we're not even talking about Batman, which is probably what he will always go down in history most known for. And we're not even talking about Batman. So we're taking that out of the equation altogether. You just look at his resume outside of that. He is probably going to end up with 4, if not 5, depending what he's doing next year. But he's going to end up with 4, acting nominations with a trophy on his shelf. Bradley Cooper's going to have 4 nominations too, but with no trophy on his shelf. Because look, as much as I think Bradley Cooper has a shot at getting nominated this year for A Star Is Born, he ain't going to win. He might get nominated, he ain't going to win. So you're going to have Cooper and Bale with 4 nominations each, except Bale's going to have that trophy on his mantle. So, you know what? Great resume from Denzel Washington. Great resume for Leonardo DiCaprio. Great for Bradley Cooper. But, right now, and who knows, maybe we can have this conversation as we're getting close to 2020 again. Right now, for me, I got to say the resume doesn't lie. I think you got to go with Christian Bale. I think you got to say Christian Bale is the actor of the decade. But maybe you guys have different opinions on that. Jump down to the comment section and let me. And who's somebody that maybe I left out? Is there another resume that I'm overlooking here? Jump down to the comment section and let me know who I might be overlooking, because I might be overlooking a few guys.